So this day wouldn't happen without sponsorship, and I would just like to thank the corporate sponsors for the day. I must say that their involvement is purely financial donation for educational purposes. They have nothing to do with the program we put together, and so there will be some representatives from these companies, but the main ones this year are Biogenidec, Genzyme, Novartis, and Roche. And Bayer Healthcare and Merck Sirona sponsored last year, and we had a little bit of money left over from last year's meeting that goes into the pot for this year. And Tiva have also promised us some sponsorship for this year. So without these companies, we wouldn't be having this day. So I'd like to start by thanking the main players, particularly Alison. Where's Alison? So Alison has essentially arranged and orchestrated the whole day. And the reason why it's so important, because last year 3 people did the job, and this year Alison did it on her own. So well done, Alison. And then I'd like to thank our 2 departmental administrators, Surinder and Samantha, who've filled in the gaps and helped arrange everything. Thank you, Surinder. Thank you, Samantha. And then David and Gareth, you may know them by Mouse Doctor 1 and Mouse Doctor 2 from the blog. They've been instrumental in designing the program and helping Alison get the program off the ground. So thank you, David. Thank you, Gareth. And then there's the readers of the blog. We have a new feature this year, which is the question time, which I'll go through more. And the readers of the blog have contributed all the questions. So we didn't design the questions that are going to be formed. People who read the blog. So the blog reader said, can we please mention them in the day? Because a lot of them can't be here because they're all over the world. And they would like us to mention. I'd just like to thank them for providing us all the questions. And then the day is really about our research. And this is the first time this is a partnership between ourselves and UCL. And we've joined forces, and I'll go through that in a little bit more detail shortly. We've joined forces, and I'd just like to thank all the researchers at Barts and at UCL for taking time out to prepare their talks to share this with you. Thank you very much. And then this is the main reason why we're here. So this is a montage of all our sponsors. These are all the people that are prepared to trust in us by giving us grants so we can do research. And I'm not sure if you're aware that it's becoming increasingly important for researchers to engage with people, or stakeholders, people with the disease and their families, to let them know the type of research we're doing and why we're doing it. And whenever we have a grant application now, there's always a little box at the bottom saying, how are you going to engage the public in science? And this is one of the things we put in the box. We have an annual research day, and we tell you what we're doing. So a part of this day is to thank these sponsors and to address one of the promises we've made to them by engaging with the community about our research. So about the future. So about 6 months ago, our organization joined UCL Partners. And UCL Partners is an expanding group of organizations of both NHS facilities and research organizations to get together. And we formed a big group of hospitals and organizations, and our mission is very, very simple. Our purpose is to translate cutting-edge research and innovation into measurable health gains for MSs in London, across the UK, and globally. And we've named ourselves MS at UCLP, and we've divided our activities into 5 domains. MS research, which is what you've seen today. We're going to be presenting all our research to you. We've decided to take out MS trials because trials are the things that are the translational vehicle. In other words, when we start testing our strategies in people with the disease, and we've got a large number of trials and we need a different group of people running those. Then we have MS services at UCLP. These are the people that design and run our MS services. And because a lot of you want to ask questions about services, there will be at lifestyle tables today people from the services you can ask questions about MS. Then we're also responsible for educating people, not only the public, but also young doctors and medical students. And we haven't activated that yet, but we will have a special committee designed to maximize the education of both healthcare professionals and people with the disease and their families about the illness. And then finally, which is another separate entity, is the public engagement side, and this is part of the public engagement. How do we as a group of professionals working in the field of MS engage with the general public? And I put in grey here the neuro-rehab, and Rachel Farrell and Val Stevenson and a few of the rehab members are here. This is not MS specific, but obviously people with multiple sclerosis have rehab needs, and clearly we need to interact with the rehab people as well. So one of the things we've done is launched a website. It's still in the beta version. It hasn't been fully updated. So if anybody needs to know about which trials we're doing, you can do it, and we will have a little page for each trial. So if you want to know about trials that are actively recruiting, you can see a list. And I was hoping to have this updated before today. I just didn't get the time. But there's a table outside. So all our trial nurses and trial coordinators are out there. And we've got a list of trials that we're involved in, so you can go and speak to them during the day about which clinical trials are active. I like to say, when I looked at this list, there's no doubt in my mind that MS at UCLP, we're by far the most active group of researchers in MS clinical trials in the country. And the other thing is this day is meant to be a two-way dialogue. It's not only us giving you information. There's lots of opportunity for you to come back to us. So please feel free to ask questions. And this is one question we put up. About a year ago, we ran a survey on the blog. Do you think we are doing enough to address the needs of MSs with progressive disease? And surprise, surprise, 86% said no, 14% not sure, and there wasn't a single person who voted that we were doing enough for progressive MS. Okay? Which means we're not doing enough for progressive MS. But there's been a consortium of people who've come together to address this need, and it's an international consortium. It's run by the National MS Society in the United States, the UK MS Society, IFMS, and the Italian MS Societies, and a lot of other MS societies will be joining this consortium. And they put out a position paper that was published in the MS Journal, and I just wanted to point out that of the author list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's probably about a third of those people are clinicians or scientists that work for UCLP. So we as a group are very influential in this initiative to address progressive MS. And a large part of the program today will be discussions about trials and what we're doing for progressive MS. So we haven't forgotten you. And the first meeting is happening in Milan. This is a closed meeting, and nice venue, February the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And a lot of us at UCLP will be in Milan discussing how we initiate this initiative to improve treatments for people with progressive MS. So I wanted to mention just briefly 3 studies, and I put these up because Alan Thompson, my co-chair, said to me these 3 trials are probably the most innovative trials in MS at the moment in the world. And the first one is a neuroprotective drug that we're testing in optic neuritis, and Ahmed Touzi will talk about that in his talk. The second one is our trial, which probably will start recruiting about mid-year, using lumbar punctures to measure the effect of a drug on the degenerative process. And Annie will be talking to you that when she talks about her lumbar puncture innovations. And then there's the SMART study, which is the study where we have an adaptive design, where we're actually trying out 3 different drugs versus placebo, and Jeremy Chataway is the chief investigator in this study, and he'll be talking about it when he talks to you about progressive MS. So I think we're doing a lot about neuroprotection, and these 3 trials are really, really, if you take my word, cutting-edge technologies, and they've all come out of our research. So just to give you a treatment update, things have been happening in the field of MS, and I was reading an article in Science yesterday. Scientists always overestimate what they can achieve in 2 years. I'll be finished shortly. In 2 years, we underestimate what we do in 10 years, and this is what's happening in 10 years. We've got lots of new drugs for people with MS. I just wanted to say to you that there are 4 drugs at the moment that have been reviewed by the European Medicine Agency and NICE at the same time, and I'm anticipating that in the next 6 to 12 months we're going to have 4 new drugs for people with MS. And also on the symptomatic side, we've got that. And the other innovation is MS may be a viral infection, and we've launched a thing called the Charco project, which is to try and test whether or not MS is a virus due to a virus. And we'll be starting a trial of an antiviral therapy in MS, and Julian Gold will update you on that. And this is the program. And finally, the question time. We've closed the question time to you all because we realized that there was a question time running next door. You would have a conflict about where you wanted to be. You're listening to the talks or listening to the question time. So the question time is a closed session. We're going to film it, and we'll put it onto the blog and onto YouTube so you can all watch it in a couple of weeks' time. And all of those of you tech savvy, people out there are following this day on Twitter. So if you are Twitterati, can you please, that's the hashtag, MS Research Day. Any comments, please post as many as you can. Okay, thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce Rachel, who's going to update you on spasticity and walking issues.